Silence. Trees. The number 7. What do all of these things have in common? Absolutely nothing. But if I take a pause, maybe a step or two forward, I can present myself in a way where it looks like I know what I'm saying. I mean, ever since my last time public speaking, I've been afraid to try hard at these, knowing that I'll probably mess up like last time. But if I sway my hands like this, slowly pronounce my words, raise my voice, I can grab your attention. I might fill up some time, but in all honesty, I have nothing to say. Unlike my amazing associates, I have no point in being up here on stage. But I'll act like I do, using mannerisms to show that I'm smart. But in all honesty, I'll probably fail like last time. Hello, everyone. My name is Kamsi Okonkwo, and what I just demonstrated for all of you is known as the brain's negative loop. I had taken a negative experience and let it determine how I respond in the moment. As a major overthinker, I'm afraid of trying new things. I'm afraid of messing up like before. This had happened a lot to me early on. When I was applying to high schools, I was always afraid of the possible rejections I would face. I wondered, why is it so hard to forget the bad when everything else is fine? So I did some research. I found a term known as the negativity bias, which means we tend to focus on the negative experiences due to the brain's survival instincts to assess situations. I mean, let me ask you all this. How many of you have had fine grades before? Like, let's say it's Spanish, bio, or math, whatever class it is. But one bad test. Keep in mind, your grades will be fine after this, but one bad test ruins your entire day. That's the brain focusing on the negative experience and amplifying it so you see no other option for success. Now, let's say you have another test, or let's say outside of school you have a job interview. You've prepped for hours on end to not feel like last time, but like some kind of joke, you fail once again. There's no other option for success. In that moment, right there, you start to feed into the negative loop with evidence. You start trying to live the lives of others, trying to replicate how they succeeded to maybe get a better outcome for yourself. People start to become jealous. I mean, how many of us in this room have been jealous of someone else? It happens to us all. This correlates with the physical loop, where people push their body to achieve something beyond its limits, to try and achieve a different standard of being. Consider an individual who, feeling pressured by these ideals, embarks on an excessive exercise routine and diet regimen to try and meet the social standards of others. It's always beneficial to improve. Yet imagine the extreme pressures causing this person to disregard their body's signals, and this starts a rise of sleep deprivation, poor diet, and then start to feed into stress and addiction. The scenario that I just referenced is something that used to happen to me in middle school. These standards are built as we go older, as more and more negative experiences arrive. A research study from 2020 by the Pew Research Center shows that 80% of parents say their children ages 5 to 11 say that they had a tablet or a computer or a smartphone. They grow up seeing these ideal lives which spark negative experiences, and they try and compare themselves to others. Instead of growing up with others, they try growing up against them, trying to compete and trying to see who's better. An example is something that I've seen people around my age, what they do after high school. A lot of people around my age feel stagnant, stuck in one place. They believe that they don't have enough potential. They're stuck in one place because the potential they have is doubted because they believe they don't have enough to succeed alongside their peers. I've even heard the notion that if you're not successful in your 20s, you failed. The negative loop has won, and there's no other option for success. I want to challenge this by telling you all the story of someone who I believe broke out of their own loop, Mark Manson. Manson is a personal development coach and author of books like The Subtle Art of Not Giving Enough and Love is Not Enough. He used to try and struggle with societal affirmation, with relentless positivity, and the constant pursuit of success, and meeting these standards that others had built for him. He had fallen into the loop and hated how he was living. He hated trying to live up to these expectations every single day, and he began to write about these ideas in his books. He broke out of his loop and argued against the persuasive cultural notion that success and happiness is only found through meeting other standards. Manson had taught me to embrace life's challenges every day of my life, because the hard truth is, We can never simply avoid all the bad things that happen to us. What this means is being okay with negativity, that you won't be 100% all the time. Now that I'm older, instead of wondering, how can I avoid making these mistakes, I wonder, how am I going to respond to each mistake I make? I understand now that there's never only one right way to do something. With so many things that make us distinct and unique, we should stop trying to conceal what makes us different. 2 is going outside or any place really where we feel at home or are safe with our thoughts and just think things through. Without testing the limitations that we may put on ourselves, we may drown in self-hatred, and we may never learn and succeed. 3 is to put ourselves in a position to change. You don't need to be too young to make a life-altering decision, but you also don't need to be too old to make a plan to succeed. The harsh truth is, not everything in life we do is going to work out. Do something to make the days different. Because if your life physically looks like a loop, then your mind will also follow suit. Growing up is hard. It just is. But by breaking out of this negative mind loop, you can have a much brighter and broader outlook on life. Now here I am. Instead of sitting in class and going through the motions of class, I'm doing something different. I finished up my college applications, unafraid of the possible rejections that I might face. And believe it or not, someone actually reminded me that trees and silence have a connection, but that's besides the point. Growing up has been feeling like steps of progress and not like progressive failure. And I hope you take that with you every day of your life. Thank you.